the button, we have to wait 5-10 seconds, and
Sure.
when we see the red dot, we can get started. It started.
Okay, all right. I think we are actually ready to go then. So welcome everyone to yet another PTC NordicTalks webinar. And for today, we are honored by having Eiliv and Tom-Roger from ATRIPLE-S for a session on how to structure your digitalization journey. But first of all, if you are still new to the NordicTalks webinars, my name is Torbjörn Peterson, and I'm the Partner Ecosystem Manager for PTC in the Nordics. And we are running these webinars every week, same time, where we invite customers and partners for some inspiration on any hot topics in digital transformation to see what is possible and how to make things happen. And all the past webinars have also been recorded and are to be found on the registration site for this event. And the agenda for today is first a very quick overview of PTC by my colleague Carl from the IoT AR team, and then our guests from ATRIPLE-S will start by introducing themselves and the company. And then I will based on a few challenges regarding digital transformation, how to address these, and then explain the business outcomes. And at the end, we will have a Q&A session, so please save your questions to the end. And now, you Carl.
Thank you. So yeah, PTC, quick introduction, is a 30-year-old international software company whose headquarters is based in Boston. And we provide software mainly for manufacturing enterprises with a focus on the digital transformation. We started with CAD and PLM, and now since a few years, we're introducing SaaS, IoT, and augmented reality. Thank you. That's it for my introduction.
Good. Thank you, Torbjörn and Carl, for having us in the meeting today. The topic for today is how to structure your digitalization journey. Before we go into that, I just want to spend a few seconds to introduce myself and my colleague. My name is Eiliv Elvebakk. I'm the CEO of ATRIPLE-S. I'm an educated electronics engineer. I have now more than 23 years of experience within the field of automation and digitalization, and actually more than 20 years in the company ATRIPLE-S. Personally, I love to combine technology and leadership. I think that combination is really interesting. And I also think that technology and people together make the progress that we are striving for. Personally, I also have hands-on experience from the industry. I've been many years out in the field, delivering solutions to end customers, machine builders, etc. So that's a few words about me. Tom-Roger.
Thank you, Eiliv. Yes, my name is Tom-Roger Stensberg. Responsible in ATRIPLE-S is the digitalization area. I'm a mechatronics and computer science engineer, and I have more than 20 years of experience within the field of digitalization. I have experience from both sales and management position, and I have also been working as a production manager in a paper mill. And I love helping companies to really increase how they operate and increase their competitiveness using technology. That's me.
Good, thank you, Tom-Roger. So the agenda for today, I will use one slide only to introduce ATRIPLE-S, who we are and what we do. Then we will focus on what we see as common pain points and pitfalls when you move forward on your digitalization journey. And Tom-Roger will explain and present our roadmap for a digital transformation. And then we will have a short summary and some Q&A afterwards. Of course, if you have any questions, please use the chat and we will take that and answer that at the end of the session. So, short introduction to ATRIPLE-S. We are a Norwegian company and we provide services and technology within the following technology areas: automation, network and cybersecurity, and digitalization. We are a very dedicated team with OT domain expertise. And if you don't know OT, that's operational technology, what is going on the shop floor, the machines, etc. And we are, so to speak, born and raised in that domain here in ATRIPLE-S. We have long-term partnerships with system integrators, machine builders, and end users. And Of course, we have very strong technology partners. We have Rockwell Automation. We have been a Rockwell Automation distributor since for 30 years. Of course, partnership with PTC and Clarity for cybersecurity. And we have various other partners as well, so that we can deliver complete solutions within these technology areas. So that's just a short introduction to AAAS and what we do. And I think basically a key thing to AAAS is partnerships. We strongly believe that in a modern world, partnerships is crucial to gain what you strive for. We see Industry 4.0 as a vision. I will not explain more about what Industry 4.0 is as a concept, but first of all, we see Industry 4.0 as a vision for the whole industry, really. And in order to achieve and strive to get to that vision, you have to focus on a key two core things, or two core areas. First of all is technology. We have automation. We have been doing automation in the industry for decades, but that is still really important and crucial moving forward. In today's world, everything needs to be connected, so we need networks, good communication methods, and it needs to be secure. So we need cybersecurity as well. And on top of this, we need digitalization. And by digitalization, we mean simply using data coming from the shop floor or from the machines. Use it using machine learning, reporting, analysis, augmented reality, etc., etc. But a key thing is that technology cannot stand alone. So we need to combine the technology with processes within the organization and the organization itself. And with organization, I mean people. So we believe that if you combine technology within these areas and the people, then you can move forward in the direction of the Industry 4.0 vision as we see it. And really, to move forward to that vision, it's really a journey, because you cannot achieve this tomorrow or next year. It's going to take years to build this. So what do we see? Typically, companies have started moving forward to that Industry 4.0 vision, or whatever you want to call it. But what are typical pain points and pitfalls? So here are our experience in that. First of all, there are so much going on. For example, with technology, it's moving very fast. New technology is coming to the market all the time. But in the daily operation, we experience that the customers have a lot to do. They don't have time, maybe, to think what are they going to do with all this new technology. And first of all, they are unsecure how to start, how are they going to handle it. And secondly, what we call the technology trap. It's very typical that someone in the organization find the technology, this is cool, let's try it. And then the focus is on technology and not on value and process. It's good to try out technology, but when it's not related to value and process, it will very often fail in the end. A typical pain point is also lack of management ownership. We typically see that there are starting initiatives within an organization, and further down the road, it stops, because at some point you need some funding of it. And if you don't have the ownership, that will be hard. And if you want to move forward in one direction, you need to you maybe need to know where you are going, but you don't know where you are. So that's a contradiction. So in order to proceed with your journey, you really need to find the status in the organization, technology-wise and the process-wise. So what's the status in your organization? before you can start planning ahead. And very often we see that initiatives are not linked to improvement processes in the organization. And what happens then is that these initiatives will be standalone initiatives, and many of them will simply die because they are not connected to the daily operation. And lastly, the lack of competence around these technology areas. There's a lot of competence needed in order to move forward to the Industry 4.0 vision. So maybe you have something in-house or want to build some competence in-house, but you also need partners. You need good partners so you fulfill all the competence you need. So with this, Tom-Roger, I have now addressed the typical pain points. Do you have a solution?
Yes, of course, Eiliv. I will share my presentation now, so we can move forward. So, can you see it, Eiliv?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you for a good introduction. I will now present what we called our roadmap for the digital transformation. So this is something that we saw that we needed to develop because, like Eiliv was describing earlier, we saw that many of these companies, they simply do not know how to proceed. They are clearly aware that there's something called Industry 4.0 and that there's technology that they can use to drive improvements or generate new revenue streams. And they're seeking knowledge about the topic, but it very often stops at this point here because they simply do not know how to move forward. They're lacking the technology competence, and it's a big topic, and it's a lot that needs to be addressed to have a successful digital transformation. So this roadmap provides a framework to develop activities with the customer to move forward in a structured manner and to make sure that this will be a success. And to make it a success, we need to go through some of these key points here that I'm going to describe further on. The first one is to establish a digital vision, because the pitfall here is the lack of management ownership. You need to build a digital vision which is describing Sorry? Maybe you should mute participants here. Okay,
that was the management.
Thank you. So this digital vision needs to establish what are you going to achieve.
I think we lost connection.
Yeah, I think his screen's frozen.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's rejoining here and give him a few seconds just to see.
Yeah.
Du falt ut. Okay, so I will share and he will join via the phone because his computer was frozen.
Ah, okay. That could happen. Technology.
That's how it is sometimes.
But good that you are two actually, I mean, sharing with the presentation, so that's good.
Let's just wait for him to join.
Yeah, sure. We could hear you
now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Okay. I'll join from my cell phone here. Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Yes, we need to establish a clear digital vision, and this vision needs to contain what you're going to achieve and how you're going to use technology to achieve your goals. So we have a slide from our webinar, which we had for some time ago, and Eiliv will provide you with a link to our websites so you can find this webinar if you're interested. This is an example of a digital vision. We have this company called Aquasport, and their vision is that they would like to increase innovation from the product development to the aftermarket through the use of digital technology. And digital technology will improve both the quality and efficiency through the value chain and generate new revenue streams for the company. So this vision gives a clear statement about what they're going to achieve and how they're going to achieve it. And it should be also linked to the company's vision. You can take next slide, Ali. Thank you. So next step is doing a status analysis, because one of the pain points here is that very often the companies do not know the present status of their own maturity in the organization across the organization, technology, and processes. So we need to find how mature, for instance, are the assets. Can they communicate on the technology level? And we need to assess how they're using digital tools today and how these tools are integrated into the improvement processes. So all this assessment, we need to do that in order to develop a strategy, because we need to find the gap between the vision and what is the present status. And when we have that gap, we can do something with it in our strategy work. So next step is all about identifying the opportunities. So the pitfall here is like Eiliv described earlier, that many of these companies, they are focusing on technology and not on the value and the process. So it's not necessarily linked to the right opportunities. So when we this is an activity that really needs to involve all layers of the organization, from people working on the shop floor up to the top management. We typically divide these people into different groups across manufacturing, engineering, maintenance, and supply, etc. It's all about getting the most important improvements on the table and to establish the ownership of those improvements so we can move forward. Next slide. So business case, something we're used to, and we're often being asked by the customer, okay, what is the business case for your technology? So when we have all the opportunities in the previous step, these needs, of course, to be evaluated. We need to create business cases. So it's important to start with the ones that's easy to implement, which creates value with a small investment. So our experience here is that very often when we're developing the business case, this is something that is typically by the customers done maybe. It does not include all the improvements and how this improvement affects the whole organization. because when you're doing one improvement step, it typically affects something downstream and creates efficiency further down in your process. So very often the business case can be bigger. That's our experience. So it's important to try to assess this as thoroughly as possible, and to have some thoughts about the costing, and then to rank this and to start with the ones that's easy to implement and which generates most value. So when we have all this information that we've been going through the previous steps, that provides all the input we need for developing a strategy. And these strategies should contain what kind of technology should we start with, what kind of technology should we implement in the short and the long term. And one of the pitfalls here is that the client is lacking the in-house technology competence. What we see is that many companies, they have outsourced all of the technology competence, and they're relying very much on suppliers, machine builders, and so on. So they need guidance for what kind of technology they should start with. So what is the right technology for solving the opportunities identified, and how will the processes need to change to create value? What competence is needed? That is what's forming our strategy for the short and long term. I have one example here from a customer that we're working with, Takeda in Asker. They identified through their digital transformation journey with us that they had an opportunity in the tableting department. So this business case identified that if they had the information from the different lines in the tableting department, which is isolated in different rooms, was that if they had all those information on the machines in a mobile solution, they could utilize the resources in that area more efficiently, because these resources can then assist on other areas as well, and they could have all the information in the mobile solution and in the control room, and immediately identify if something is wrong in one's production cell. So with this simple solution, identified as one of the most largest business cases, they saved one full-time employee here, so they can use that resource for other areas, driving improvements. So that's a really good one. The next one is is really just an improvement cycle, PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. The pitfall here is that many of the digitalization initiatives are not linked to improvement processes in the organization, and we call it always continuous improvement. So it's really, you don't stop with it, and digitalization is something that should support your continuous improvement processes. You should never stop thriving to use technology and working with digitalization. So these initiatives really needs to be linked to your company's improvement processes and improvement strategy. So make sure it's that, follow the PDCA cycle, Plan, Do, Check, Act, adjust your strategy if needed, and make sure to keep focus on the value. And if you do that, you will all be good. Yeah, that concludes the transformation map.
Good, Tom-Roger, thank you. Just a small question, Tom-Roger. You have several steps here in the roadmap. Yeah. Is this going to be expensive and very time-consuming?
No, it doesn't need to, because this is a framework, like I explained in the introduction. So it's possible to adjust the activities here to the company. So we will run through a process that is feasible for even if you're a small or medium-sized business, or if you're a large enterprise. To go through this, to develop the strategy, doesn't need to be a costly procedure. We can adapt that to the specific needs of the organization.
Good, thank you. Then I will take just a short summary. Our clear indication here is take a structured approach to your company's digital transformation. There's a lot of information and technology. Try to structure it and follow a structured approach. Then we think you will have a better success and achieve better value. Focus on business value, not the technology. As an engineer myself, I think I find it sometimes hard to not focus on the technology, but I truly believe that if you focus on the business value first, then you can have fun afterwards and enjoy the technology as well. And like you said, Tom-Roger, it's not a marathon. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And actually, it's a continuous marathon because it will never stop. And if you would need any more information from us, we have our own blog. blog.atTRIPLE-S.no. This is in Norwegian, but if you use Google Translate, it works quite nice to get it in your local language as well. There's a lot of information there, blog articles around digitalization, automation, network, and cybersecurity. So please go ahead and use that blog for your information. You're also, of course, you can visit our homepage or contact us directly if you want to do that. So thank you all for the short introduction that we were able to give you today about having a structured approach to digital transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Eiliv and Tom-Roger, for sharing all this interesting information here. And I'm actually open up for any questions from the audience. So please go ahead if you have any few questions that you could reach out to Eiliv and Tom-Roger here. We are also staying for a while on the chat if you need to have any longer sessions also. So please go ahead.
So Torbjörn, this is Hemant here. So I have a question related to a little bit on standardization of the terms that we use in the overall digitalization. So Tom-Roger, Eiliv, do you think there is a difference between the digitalization of value chain and Industry 4.0 as the standard terms?
We said digitalization of the value chain and the Industry 4.0.
Right, so there is a lot of confusion between the customers, and then there are these two things and terminologies are actually oftenly overlapped and all. So that's the reason, because you are the practitioner. So I just thought that I will ask you, are you coming across this confusion?
Yeah, I think that when you talk about digitalization of the value chain, in our opinion, this is all about how we're utilizing technology to drive performance, to create new value stream, which is really aligned with the Industry 4.0 vision. So I think that it's very much about the same thing. But for us in AAA-S, our view on the digitalization is how we're utilizing the data that's produced in your value chain, so you can get new insights and to drive improvements and also generate new improvement streams. So I think really those are aligned in my opinion. It's all about taking the advantage of the technology that's out there and use it to drive improvements.
And Tom-Roger, thank you for clarifying, because that is what my understanding also is. But typically what I have seen that Industry 4.0, people are relating it to only manufacturing aspect, not the full value chain. And that has been the confusion which is there. And then I just thought that as an industry practitioners, if we start using the standard term, it will help the overall ecosystem from that angle. But thank you, I'm aligned with you. That's what my definition also would be, that more or less these two things are same. It is not restricted to one area. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm sorry to say, but time is actually running out. And thanks everyone for joining, and a special thanks, of course, to the guys from ATRIPLE-S. And actually, you could also, stay online and chatting and reaching out with questions, since that we will keep on having the chat window open, of course. But also stay tuned for the next Nordic Talks webinar already after Easter on the 9th of April with EconoCap, talking about why requirement management in mechanical development. So with that, from my end, I wish you a great weekend and a happy Easter, and stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for the
Thank
opportunity.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
I wouldn't be able to have this presentation.
Sure, that's a good. We will share it soon, and it will be recorded so you can find it on the registration site. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.